Beyond the bank, we're talking baseball. Beyond the bank, may we make takes, Beyond the bank, Phillies fever, catch it now. Bleeding red is hell. Beyond the bank.
Ooh, welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Bank Phillies podcast. I am your host, Pete, along with my co-host, Henry. What is up, my guy?
1 week until opening day. 1 week. 7 days. Provided it doesn't get rained out. 7 days.
Don't say that. Don't say that. Do not put that evil on us, man. Please. I do not need that type of stuff or whatever. I don't feel like dealing with any weather stuff on opening day, regardless. But we're back, both you and I, from spring training. You went, the last week of February, I guess, and then I got back last week, and I went for 1 day. You were there for a whole week, but what a time, man! I know you had a good time. I know even being there for 1 day, the experience that I got out of it was still just, what I expected it to be, kind of. I mean, a little overwhelming, but. But yeah, how was your trip? How was it? Good?
It was good. It was really fun. We were there for a few days, me and Gabby. The cool thing about being there for a few days, so we did it last year. We were down there last year, and what we figured out was you got to stay close. Right. If you're going to go to all those, if you're going to go to multiple games, you might as well stay close. Right. It's easier. You're close to Lenny's, the diner. You probably didn't go there. Close to Lenny's. You're close to the stadium. Everything's right there. Clearwater Beach is 25 minutes away. Right. And it's just a blast. It's so much fun down there because usually we're leaving really, really cold weather, which in my case, I left 18 inches of snow. Right. And funny story about that. I was supposed to drive to Gabby's in Philly the night before we went to the airport, stay over, all that stuff. Just leave from the airport early in the morning. Well, went to go do that. There was a tree down across the road, so I couldn't get past. So shout out Dan. He had to come pick me up and drive me to Gabby's house because I couldn't get around the tree because I would have had to go in the grass and I would have sunk in the snow, and I couldn't go through the tree because it was sitting on a telephone wire. But Dan had to come pick me up, and we got down there. I was like, oh my gosh. I got down there and I could see my breath, which was ridiculous. Right. Which, not happy about that. But nonetheless, it's still a good time. I don't think I could see my breath, but still. We were sitting at the bar. I think, was it the first night or the second night? I forget. But we were talking to these people at the bar, and I said, the one guy goes, man, it's really cold. And somebody goes, oh, yeah, it's way better than what we left. And I was like, me too. I said, I left 18 inches of snow. He said, oh, yeah, we're like up near the Poconos or wherever he was from. I was like, oh, my God. Yeah. He said, yeah, it was brutal. He said, I'm glad we picked now to come down. I was like, this is great. Right. But they were down for like longer than we were. Right. But no, it's always a blast. I mean, the stadium's awesome as a minor league park can be. Right. Great food selection. Not that you would know, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. We had a blast. Bar hopped a little bit. Right. Time. Got my free T-shirts along the way. There you go. Successful trip.
And you got to watch Phillies baseball. I mean, that's
I mean, geez,
that's the best part about it, right?
Right. I mean, how was your trip?
It was good. It was good
here because it's your first time. It was your first time down there. So
yeah, it was a fun time. And like I said, even for 1 day, it was me, Tal, and my mom, and we drove down. It was a 2.5 hour drive from Fort Myers. So, it was well worth the drive. And I think obviously I talked about it with you on the phone. Like next time I'm thinking to probably stay around that area, just kind of get a little bit more experience and maybe go to more than one game. But I think it was good this time just to at least go and get there myself and see how it was, being in the stadium, being in the environment around all the fans, all different type of fans, to remind you. I mean, wasn't all just Phillies fans, there were some other fans there as well, which, I mean, hey, at the end of the day, people are there just to enjoy baseball and the weather and stuff like that. So I get it. And I won't hate too much, but I think just overall, it's like it was exciting, and I'll be honest, it was a little overwhelming at one point just for me, because I think, like I explained it to you, like I feel like so spoiled, I guess, being at CBP and like knowing where I'm going.
You're comfortable, right?
Yeah, I'm comfortable there, obviously, and like going to this stadium is so much different. Minor league ballpark, you know, not as many seats. There's no like 300-400 level and stuff like that. So you're just kind of like you're kind of adapting to the environment a little bit. And
sure,
it was packed, of course. Obviously, you know, especially Phillies, Yankees. You know, there's going to be a lot of people there for that. So
right.
But
and the Yankees are right there too.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So but I think overall it was just a great experience. The shops were cool. You know, obviously a lot. I went to Frenchie's. I walked over there, hung out around that area a little bit, which was pretty cool. And I did like one whole lap around the whole stadium. I had to make sure I saw everything.
I always do a couple.
You know. Yeah. But and then, you know, sat down, watched some baseball and stuff like that. Unfortunately, Crawford wasn't in the lineup that day. That kind of hurt my feelings a little bit, but you know, it is what it is. I'm like sitting there and I'm like, I already know what I'm getting from JT. I already know what I'm seeing from Stott, Turner. I don't need to see what these guys are gonna do. I need to see the young guy, the possible, you know, savior. No, I'm kidding. But no, I'm just saying. But I'm just saying, I was so excited that he wasn't lined up. So it's like whatever.
It sucks that neither of us saw Painter.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, that would have been nice.
I saw him throw some bullpens.
Yeah.
That dude's huge. He's like 6'6".
Yeah, and I'm listen. So far, we've seen some good things. So I know we'll probably talk about it at one point, but yeah, it was fun, man. And I ran into the Philly sports guy, which is pretty funny. You know, shout out to him. You know,
did I tell you I ran into Fritz?
Yeah, you did. Yeah,
shout out Fritz. And then I told him, I was like, I promise I'm not stalking you. He was like, oh, we'll see. Because somehow I always end up wherever he's at. Like,
right.
I was walking down to the field because we wanted to just go like to the field level, and we were like right on the dugout. Gabby wanted to take pictures, you know, whatnot. We could stand down there because they don't really bug you. That's the good part about training.
Mm-hmm.
You can stand as close as you want,
right?
But once they're like, all right, guys, we got to, you know, clear it out. Game's about to start. Everybody clears out, and it's fine. We're walking down, and I'm like, oh my god, Fritz is right there. Had no idea. Like it was just like, oh my god. And the first thing I saw him, and he goes, "Oh, what's going on?" And I was like, "Yeah, what's up?" And he goes, "Man, I haven't seen you since game 2." And I went, and my face just dropped. I was like, "Yeah, thanks for that."
Yeah, thanks.
And he was like, "We're back. We're back."
never change.
No, it was cool though. That game, dude. It poured rain at the end.
Did it really?
So, did you guys hang out at Frenchie's after the game or no?
Nah, we didn't hang out afterwards.
So, for people who don't know, Frenchie's, the tiki bar, if you watch on TV, the tiki bar in the stadium is open for an hour and a half after the game with live music. The lines aren't as bad. It's pretty nice.
Right.
They don't let you walk around the stadium. It's shut off. It's shut down past the exits. But they let you, you know, hang out and stuff. And me and Gabby did it last year. We were sitting in some of the seats. It was cool. It was a lot of fun. This year we went to do it on the last day, which we got hooked up with some tickets. Shout out Bob, team chef. Got to see him while we were down there. That was pretty cool. But we were like, oh yeah, let's go on this day. So we went there, dude. It poured rain. We were standing under an awning with all these people, just like standing there talking. It was hilarious. But it was a good time. It was good, dude. It's always fun down there. I had a blast.
Yeah, man. Like I said, even for one day, it's like it was definitely got the experience. Definitely worth it. And hopefully go back next year, and we'll see. Maybe we'll combine trips together, and we'll be there at the same time. We'll see. We'll talk about it.
Real quick, I need to out you. I'm sorry.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, here we go.
Couldn't go any longer.
Accountability.
Okay, so for people who don't know, obviously, I mean, Florida's known for the seafood. You know, it's warm weather. It's the grouper down there is famous. It's abundant in Clearwater, fishing, all that stuff. Shrimp, crab, any seafood you can find, lobster, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
So last year, me and Gabby got the fried seafood platter.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Calamari, oysters, all this stuff, delicious. So this year, I go down there, and I'm like, oh man, I really hope they have that again. I get there, they don't. It's a grouper sandwich. I'm like, okay. So I get a grouper sandwich. On my way back, I get these crab bites. They call them crab balls, but don't understand that. They look like hush puppies. They were like a crab cake stuff. It was like a hush puppy. Right. So I got that. I get whatever I can't get at our stadium, I get down there. That's how it's supposed to work. Now, I get a text from Pete, and he says, "What can I get down here? What's good?" I said, "The orange crushes are banging. You should go here, go there." I had everything in the stadium. Everything was banging. The only thing I didn't have was a hot dog. Like,
Right.
And so you texted me and you said, "Man, they have a Delco's cheesesteaks here?" And I went, "Well, yeah, but they have like 10 different other stands that you can get something at."
Right.
You didn't tell me what you got until I texted you later, and I said, "What did you end up getting?" And you said, I had to go with the cheesesteak. Are you nuts? Are you nuts?
I'm
That's
nuts
insane
indeed.
To me.
I know. Hey, sometimes you got to stand out from the others, man.
Stand out from the others. Oh my God.
Listen, to be fair, okay, which I did see the other options. I wasn't oblivious to it. To be fair though, I'm picky when it comes to seafood and that type of stuff, so it depends. But the other thing is too, I think, like I said, man, there was so much going on. I just saw something simple, and I'm a simple man, dude. And I just like when it's easier for me to just walk there and like, hey, give me a cheesesteak. I don't gotta be like, yo, let me do this, let me do that. Hey, let's do it. Done. Call it a day. And I just like, hey, I gotta get some food in my stomach. So I just was like, hey, we'll do the cheesesteak. So
I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, he never told me what he got. So I texted you.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Hey man, there's always opportunity next year to expand, I guess, on other options. So we'll see. But hey, it's fine. It's fair. It's a fair call out because other people would probably question the same thing. So it's like, okay, hey, for
God's sake.
It was simple, man. Like I said, simple man, dude. I just give it a cheesesteak. We're going.
Just in shock. Just absolute shock. Well, you gotta be kidding me, man.
Hey,
let's have some culture.
And speaking of food, we will be looking forward to some new things at CBP, which
I'm very excited.
We can talk about later.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different things with CBP this year, which is good and bad. So we get
a lot of cool food things, a lot of not so good sponsorship things.
Right. No free ads.
No, yeah, especially for them.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So, but yeah, overall, good trips, and now we get ready for the season. So, It gets to that point now of spring training where I'm just like ready for like just
once they put Garrett Stubbs at third base, you think spring training's done.
Yeah, that's when I think it's time. I'm like, okay, we're getting a little out of pocket here. So
we're getting to be a little much here, aren't we? Stretching it. Yeah. See, Bryce is back.
Yeah, Bryce is back. Bryce is back. We're gonna talk a little bit about WBC in a little bit, alongside our guests that we're gonna have on. So we won't put it out there now, but we'll wait for you guys to see. You guys gotta listen and wait.
All right, so we now bring on described Philly sports enthusiast, writer of one of the top Philly Substacks, future memorabilia store owner, and the man behind 2008 Phils on Twitter, John Foley. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Thanks for having me on.
So we're gonna start by just asking you some questions about the WBC. What did you think about the tournament as a whole?
I think it's great for baseball. I think it's it's just the scene, right, and the energy, all these different cultures coming together to play the sport. Fantastic for the game. Wish the U.S. could have pulled it out in the end, but Venezuela, you got to hand it to them. They did their thing. Happy for Ranger Suarez, obviously. But yeah, it's that Bryce Harper home run is just. It's classic. It's classic Bryce Harper Philly stuff, right? Like he has this incredible moment, and it ends up not really meaning much of anything in the end. So that was disappointing. But overall, just a great tournament. Can't love it anymore.
Yeah, I felt like, especially the big thing that like stood out to me with the whole like WBC, because I talked to Henry about it and stuff like that. Just obviously, the timing of it is weird for some people because obviously the whole thing with the players and the limits and stuff like that, just being in the middle of spring training, and I think that was the big. I mean, for me at least, what I noticed was the issue with a lot of things was just like the commitment from some players, like obviously Tariq Skubal and that whole situation or whatever. Do you feel like from like your perspective that like some of the team may or may not been like fully bought in because that's kind of been like the whole discussion since it's kind of ended now a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it did feel like they half-assed it in some ways, right?
Right.
That like you're there, you're excited, everything's hyped up, and this guy's not available unless there's certain conditions. Was it Mason Miller? They would have brought him in. He was able to come in if they had the lead,
Right.
but couldn't come in an entire game. I mean, that puts your team in a tough spot, especially when if the other teams are willing to go sort of full throttle, right?
Mhm.
So I would like to see that change, but at the same time, it is spring training. These guys are just getting warmed up, and they do have to prioritize their health. So it's a tough situation. I don't really know if there's a good answer to it. But it is kind of a bummer that like someone's not going to be available or decides to maybe I'll pitch this game and then I'll leave. I don't know. What do you guys think? How can you fix that even?
So I see that's the problem right there. I don't know if there really is a way to fix it because if you have I mean it's not like the World Baseball Classic is at the end of the year. Like it's not like these guys are fully stretched out and they have a couple more innings left in them or what have you. Excuse me. But the thing with Tariq Skubal, and this is going to happen next WBC. This is going to happen for the Olympics. This is going to happen over and over and over. He's due like what? If we're going to guess, probably over $300 million. Somebody's going to pay him a hefty price tag. I see where he's coming from because I'm sure it's partially him, and he just got $32, the most a pitcher's ever gotten in arbitration, or I think a player in general, from the Tigers. So it's just tough because they want to protect their investment. He wants to keep his health intact, but at the same time, he wants to be with the team. Now, for me, the biggest thing I had the problem with was not the problem, I guess, but him leaving, working out, and then being like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to come sit in the dugout with my jersey on, but I'm not going to contribute." It was just confusing to me.
Yeah, it's have you bought in or have you not? And
right.
if you haven't, we understand your reasons why.
Yeah,
we get it, but you kind of got to choose.
Yeah, that's the frustrating part. It's just like for me personally, it's like I want to see commitment from all the players there, no matter who it is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. From the guy who maybe isn't going to play much to the guy who's apparently Captain America, Aaron Judge. Like you want to see that from every player, no matter who it is, and just to contribute and stuff like that. And I think like that little stuff right there is just what kind of took it away, like took some of the excitement a little bit at certain times, just because it's like I love the WBC. Obviously I was excited for it, just to see, obviously Harper and Schwarber on there with that team. And it's just like, it's just those type of distractions. It's like, we want to set a good, look here for this team and stuff like that. And I mean, obviously they got to the final and whatnot, but even then it's just like, when it comes to just on the field stuff, it's like, they struggled hitting, right? For me personally, I thought it was going to be the pitching that was going to kill them in the end, which I mean, it did in the one inning after Harper hit the homer, but overall, when you look back, it's like they didn't hit well.
They just didn't hit
the whole tournament.
It felt like we were watching the Phillies. I mean,
yes,
yeah. Unfortunately,
all of America gets to see what we feel like every.
Yeah, I'm glad they got to experience it.
Nobody does anything.
It's crazy.
So unfortunate.
It was, just one after another. These big name guys. It was very Phillies-esque in that they weren't trusting the guy behind them. Or
everybody wanted their moment,
Yeah. People were chasing the moment. Even Harper, that he got it, which is incredible.
Right? Yeah, he got all of it too. That was
that was great.
I was telling Henry, I said it. It was giving me Bedlam at the Bank vibes, and I got chills like right after it happened. I was just, I was telling Henry the whole time, like throughout the couple of weeks, it's just like I know Harper's gonna have the moment. Like I'm holding out. Like I know it's gonna happen, and it's just like I wanted that like. obviously there's been so much going on with him, coming into spring training with Dombrowski and all the comments and stuff. So it's just like, you just kind of want him to have the moment. So it's just kind of like, all right, the monkey's off the back now. And it's like, let's just let him have his time and just, all right, he did what he had to do. And unfortunately, it only lasted like 5 minutes. So.
It was, I was watching it the way I do in like most Phillies games. I'm watching it and I'm like scrolling on Twitter at the same time.
Right.
And it just erupts. Everybody's posting a video. Bryce Harper's amazing. Yep. And like 10 minutes later, it was like, anyway.
Yeah, exactly. It's all the excitement goes down the hill after that. So it's like
that bat flip was unbelievable.
That went to the moon.
It was like the Jose Batista bat flip.
Yeah.
Like the original, like big one that got famous, I guess.
Right. I mean, but like overall, like you said, though, shout out to Venezuela. I mean, they were the better team at the end of the day. They got the job done, and shout out to them. So it is what it is. And next time or a couple of years when we do it again, hopefully, it's a little better that time around. So we'll see. But so moving off more of the WBC discussion, we are, as of today, 7 days away from opening day. We can't wait. It's almost there. And it gets to it. We just talked about it. It gets to this time of the year, like spring training, where you're just kind of like, you're tired of seeing the lineups that they put out, especially Garrett Stubbs at third base, which is a little much. So, but 7 days away now. And we just like overall, like, how are you feeling going into this next season?
I'm optimistic. I feel the same way about this season as I felt last season, the season before. They're a good team. That rotation is incredible. I think the bullpen's going to be very nasty. The offense is going to be what it is. It's not the best. It's not the worst. They're probably still one big bat away. They're going to win a lot of games. And if they don't win the division, they're going to be right there and pretty close to it. And, you talk about those things and, somebody always chimes in, well, let's see what they do in October. Yeah. In October, we'll see what they do in October, but that's a tough way to enjoy the game of baseball, in my opinion.
Yep.
And that, there's spring training, you're getting warmed up. If you can't enjoy like a June or July, Christopher Sanchez start sitting at the bank, beautiful weather, I guess maybe you're not just really a baseball fan, right? We're all frustrated about what happens in October. And when we get there again, we'll have the same doubts and the same concerns. And, hopefully they can exercise those demons or whatever. But in the meantime, I mean, you gotta enjoy the ride, is my opinion. And, as every longtime fan knows, we don't always have it this good. It may not feel great the way last postseason ended, and the postseason before that, and the postseason before that. But they're a relevant team. They're in the mix. It makes for a really fun season. And I think the folks that just, focus on the postseason are really missing out.
Yeah, like you just said, it's a tough way to watch the game. When you have 162 games between you and any potential playoff game whatsoever, like, it's just tough. But some of these people, I feel like, not that we've lost the plot, but if I told you on paper that a team didn't win the World Series, but they have the runner-up for MVP, they have a perennial top 5 to 10 MVP finisher, 2 step ago, by the way, a guy who's top 3 in NL Cy Young and arguably could have won the award, a guy who's returning from injury that also could have been a top 3 Cy Young contender, and one of the biggest bats in baseball. You'd be like, man, I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah.
But since they're all coming back, all of a sudden it's a problem.
Right. I mean, it was pretty much locked in when they re-signed Schwarber. It was like, all right, you're going to have pretty much the same group, and that's not a bad thing when they won 96 games last year. I think, the Bichette saga really took a lot of steam out of the offseason. We all got excited. We thought it was going to be a done deal, and it fell through. And he goes to the Mets. Yeah, so, it's a bummer. There's no way around it. It's a bummer. But let's not go overboard and think about, we were talking before we went live here, right, about 2015 and the truly dark times when the team just didn't matter, and you weren't even watching the guys that were going to eventually matter. This team, they've got established stars, everyone you just listed. and they've got young guys too, and they're absolutely people to be excited about. Painter, if he lives up to his potential, that could be, a top of the rotation starter for a decade at a manageable cost. Crawford, all he does is hit 300 everywhere he goes. Miller, yes, there's concerns about his back, but he might be the best of the group. So I think there's a lot of great storylines here. You've still got Bryce Harper and Schwarber chasing 50 home runs. I go back to the pitching over and over. But it's a great team, and I think you can enjoy it and still have your doubts about what they might do in the short series when it comes down to it. And they're not the Dodgers. They're not going to be favored over the Dodgers.
No, of course not.
No, but the only one team is. So
right.
For sure. And go back to your point of like enjoying the ride. And like that's something that like me and Henry have talked about multiple times on this podcast. It's just like we get frustrated too. And I'm not telling other fans to not be frustrated. I mean, at times a little over the top in my opinion, but at the same time, I think it's like having that mindset of just being like, wake me up in October. Like it's a little just, I mean, like, what's the point of just, and you say like, oh, I'm going to stop going to games and I'm going to do this and do that. It's like, no, you're not.
No, you're not.
You're not going to go. You're not going to stop going to games. Like, come on now. Like, let's just stop. Let's stop the lying. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to support your team no matter what. And it's just like, like we're going to be frustrated, of course. It's because you care. That's because you want to see. You have expectations. That's the whole thing. Is that like this team we have expectations now. And like I said, there are things to look at throughout the year. There's going to be things that we question or have doubts about. We're already having
storylines.
Storylines, stuff like that. But I just think like going into this year, I think it's a different like transition this time around compared to when they tried it before back after 2011. Mix it into young guys, right? Because this is what they talked about their plan being going into the offseason. That's why everybody questions like, oh, like why are they not going for the big free agent? Why are they not doing this? Why not doing that? Well, guess what? They wanted to mix in some of the young guys. The core was fine with it. They seemed like, hey, listen, like we're gonna get some of these young guys in and see what they can do. And it's like, listen, they have confidence. You know what I'm saying? We want these young guys to come in. We want them to go through the ups and downs, and we want them to get some experience. Because who knows? Justin Crawford, he may be that small little piece that we may need to possibly get us over the hump. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? But that's why you wait and see throughout the whole season till you get
it's great. Like, I mean, if you're a fan of baseball, if you're a fan of the team, how are you not excited to see what Justin Crawford does?
Right.
It's like everybody's debating, well, the ground ball rate, this, that, or the hit. Just let him go play, and they're going to throw him out there every day, and you're going to see what he can do. And I think the Phillies are a little bit responsible. The front office, Dombrowski, Rob Thompson, even, with their messaging in terms of, people are like, just admit that, you're largely running it back. In terms of there's no splash free agent,
right?
But they try to make these creative arguments like we're like 30% of the roster or something if you count, as if like every roster position is counted equally.
Right.
And like nobody's buying that. We understand that it's pretty much the same team coming back. Play up the young guys. Play up Crawford, Painter. These are people. These are players you should be excited about. And they didn't really sell it that way. They went this different route. But their job's not really the marketing.
Right.
Like,
it's not their job. Yeah.
It's not really their job. But somebody in the organization should have been like, look, we got to drop this line about 27% of the roster. And
exactly.
Yeah. I think that was one of the tougher parts of the offseason for me, because me and Pete were in the minority. Not that we didn't want Bo Bichette, but it was like, if we give this a 40-something million, I'm good. I don't want that. The payroll would have been insane. It would have been a lot of moving parts. But for every offseason since he's been here, Dave Dombrowski says the same thing. I think we have a good club. I'm content
like our club.
Like our club. Like our club. It's like, come on, man.
Oh, man.
Like,
yes.
You're killing us.
Yeah.
You're killing us. And I think that drives people nuts.
Yeah, it really does. And it's it's familiarity breeds contempt, right? Like there's Dombrowski, there's these guys that you live and die with, and then you watch them fail in the postseason over and over and over. And that doesn't mean that those guys coming back still isn't your best chance. Still a great team. It's you got to deal with the frustration and just just like the team, the fans. You need to you can be frustrated, angry for a while, but at a certain point, spring's a good time to come back in the fold, right?
Right.
There's plenty to be excited about.
I can be mad in January, and at the end of February, I'll be all right.
Yeah. I want them to do this. I want them to do that. It doesn't happen. Whatever. Now it's time. We got the guys we got. They're good enough. They're talented enough to win a championship, and not a lot of teams can say they even have a chance. And the Phillies are one of them. So,
100%.
For sure. So, like I said before, we're 7 days away now from opening day. What do you think the lineup's going to look like? Do you have any idea? Do you have any predictions? Kind of what you're thinking? I mean, knowing that there's a possibility, obviously, that Crawford's probably going to make the roster, what I'm assuming. So, I mean, like, do you think like there's any like shakeup? Obviously, there's discussions about Harper going batting second. Who knows? Like, what do you feel?
I think, and it's kind of a theme with this team. I think you'll see a lot of what we've seen before. Schwarber, Turner, Harper, some combination in the top three. Right. I think they really hope Garcia can claim that cleanup spot and be the big right-handed bat behind Harper. He's really come on. It seems to be hitting a stride at the right time. Hopefully they've tweaked his swing and he can get back to what he was in 2023. And this is one of those guys that I wish they had done more in the outfield, but this is a guy that he's probably got more upside potential than Castellanos would have out there in right field. He's certainly a better defender. So hopefully Garcia can claim that cleanup spot, and that takes a little bit of pressure off of Bohm, who is not a bad player. I give him a hard time just like everybody else, but I would love to see him hit 25 home runs. It's probably just not going to happen. So if he's not in that 4 spot, it seems like he can be appreciated a little bit more for what his game actually is. And then towards the back of the lineup, so what Crawford can do in the 9 spot, maybe as the lineup circles around, getting on base, setting things up for the big bats, and Bryson Stott's a guy I'm really excited about. In the back of the lineup, if he plays the way he did in late in the season last year and the spring, now you've really got something going with the lineup, right? And you're not just waiting for the top of the lineup to come back around again. It really sort of lengthens it. So we'll see how they do, but there's potential there.
Moving off the baseball, I guess a little bit. What do you think all these changes they're making to the stadium that all came out today?
This Harry the K news was
unfortunate.
Harry the K was unfortunate, devastating. It's like, and at some point as fans, we got to push back, right? Because I feel like they're going to do whatever they can until we start to say something about it. Exactly. And that's why it starts with, one patch on the jersey. Maybe that's not too bad. I'm sure at some point there's going to be another one. And if we don't sort of voice opposition to this, then all of a sudden it looks like NASCAR, right? Yeah. So like everything's, right. There's plenty of money to go around in this sport. Hopefully they get the collective bargaining agreement straightened out without a lockout or a strike.
Yeah.
I don't understand. There's a really big pie there.
Yeah. Right.
The owners, players, everybody can make enough. And I think you can make enough, and they have made enough. They make a ton of money at that ballpark without just going for every last dollar. That you take the out-town scoreboard out, and you've got like
that was the downfall.
And,
that was the start of it right there.
That's when it starts. And like again, if we don't push back at a certain point and like disrespecting Harry Kalas, come on.
Yeah. Now the only thing left of him is the statue.
The statue, which fans paid for.
That in the booth too. I mean, he still has the booth too, like Harry Kalas booth. So, but
that's not accessible to fans though.
That's not
right.
And they play high hopes at the end, but it's like they're willing to do anything that doesn't affect them financially, right?
Right, exactly.
Like they didn't
Yeah,
pay for
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
statue, and like you
Yeah.
can call the booth something different
Right.
until like Monster or whoever wants to buy the booth, and now it's the
Right,
Monster.
right. Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
yeah,
I don't get it.
I just don't get it either.
I get it from a money perspective, but like even like you said, the out of town scoreboard. For me, the weirdest thing about watching a game after they had changed certain things, they took the brick wall out from behind home plate.
Yeah.
Now, maybe it wasn't the most visually appealing thing, but when I personally would watch the games, I can go, that's Citizens Bank Park because of this, and this. Because the brick wall, it's very recognizable. They took it away, and now it's rotating ads, and it's this, it's that. I mean, the out of town scoreboard, Castellanos said he couldn't feel the ball because it kept bouncing off the. He lost it in their lights. I mean, I don't know.
It's bad. And like you watch a game on TV, maybe I'm just getting old, but I don't even know what's real and what's not anymore. Is this head actually there?
Right.
Exactly. They're just like superimposing things, and
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. And there's something special about baseball too, right? Compared to other sports. Like I feel like NFL, it's big, it's in your face, it is a lot of energy and advertising, fine.
Right.
Something about baseball is it's supposed to be classic and historical, and
you leave things untouched.
Exactly, yeah, and we're losing something there if we keep going in this direction, and I there's got to be some pushback.
I think the fan opposition too, that's going to be a big thing. Sorry, Pete, go ahead.
No, you're good. I was just saying I was more disappointed more than anything with the clock taken out of center field. I mean, I know they had to put the All-Star game thing out there, but I'm like, you couldn't put it to the right or the left of the clock. And now I go to look at the time, and I'm like, there's no clock.
All you see is like the Xfinity X.
Right.
It's like, come on.
It's unfortunate. I said to Henry before we got on, was just like the aura of the ballpark is unfortunately is going away a little bit, and it's just for me personally, like when I go to games, it's like. I go there obviously to watch baseball. I know that, but it's also just like the comfort of like being at CBP and just like, reminiscing on like certain things like over the years. And just like I was telling Henry, so we were talking about, we both went to spring training or whatever, and the feeling how spoiled you are to know it's like, I know where I'm going in CBP compared to like that minor league, ballpark that's a little smaller. It's like, I didn't like, it was weird. It was a weird feeling. And that's the thing. It's just like, CBP is such a comfort for certain people and for certain fans where it's just like they know where that certain thing is, and it's like, okay, that's the spot or something that I go to. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just that whole thing is like what you feel like is going away just a little bit,
Yeah, it really is. And there's still really great parts to the ballpark.
For sure.
We still got
absolutely.
Aspirin Alley and over by the Wall of Fame. Like the more sort of mellow areas. I love that stuff. I think other people do too. And it's getting a little over the top, in my opinion.
I think a lot of it too, and I mean we could tie a bow on this topic, but it's just like I know they have to upgrade for the All-Star game. I get that, to host it and all. Like the clock didn't really bother me all that much because I knew they had to put an All-Star game thing somewhere. I just wasn't sure where. But I think it's just unfortunate that they had to upgrade so much all at once.
Yeah.
And now it looks like, now the team's good. You want every dollar you can get. You weren't doing this when we were getting 100 pluses.
Right.
We're losing 90 plus games and nobody's buying ad space. Now you want to strike while the iron's hot.
Yeah, now you got to get everything you can get, and it just seems unnecessary. At a certain point, like when is enough, right?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, and I guess that's the other thing. I guess I should realize that like maybe a little bit has to do with the fact that they're hosting the All-Star game this year. I don't know. I'm guessing there's got to be a little bit of part of that has to do with it. So, which again, I always keep forgetting that not forgetting, but like I'm just like, oh wow, All-Star game's gonna be in Philly this year. So
it's crazy.
Can't wait for that. Are you gonna be able to try to make it down there around that time or?
Yeah. So I'll be at the All-Star game. Hopefully around that whole week. Got tickets to like there's like an all-star village set up at the center.
That's what I want to get to. I want to try.
Yeah, that seems like it'll be pretty cool. There's the home run derby. I don't got tickets to that yet. But we'll see what that can do.
Yeah. No, listen. I was telling Henry I was looking at some of the prices already, just the second sellers, and it's just out of this world, obviously. So I'm like, well, We may be watching at stateside live, so who knows?
As long as you're like in the general vicinity.
Right, exactly,
you're
exactly.
doing all right.
We have one last question for you. We always have this question for any of our guests here, just to kind of make it fun, reminisce a little bit. And once again, we appreciate you joining us tonight, John. Obviously, we're really big fans of what you do on X and stuff like that.
Oh,
We've
thanks,
been
man.
following for a while now. So if anybody doesn't know, 2008 Phil's page, he runs it and stuff. So it's awesome. But so for you, out of how long you can think back for, whatever, what is your best live moment? As a Phillies fan, just like being at the game
When I was actually there at the game.
Yeah. Any type of moment live and stuff like that. Like, what has it been like your best moment?
Man, I'll tell you, I have some terrible luck when it comes to being physically present at the ballpark. I went to one World Series game. They got no hit.
Oh,
nice. Yeah.
I had tickets to the game that ended up being Bedlam at the Bank, but I had COVID. Couldn't go. It was a nightmare. I had terrible luck. I was one game that I was fortunate to be at. I had the whole family there, wife, had 2 kids, and we're there for the Reese Hoskins bat slam game.
Oh wow!
And that was just, I mean, the energy there and just the happiness of tens of thousands of people in that ballpark, just all feeling exactly the same way as Reese Hoskins did when he hit that and just like slammed the frustration out of it. It was, that was a big moment, and that was still when the postseason was new in town, for the most part. It hadn't really been back there in so long, and that was fun. That whole 2022 run is just so magical. Yeah. Because there weren't those expectations yet. And it just sort of felt like they were just rolling, and, hopefully they can just win it before that magic runs out.
Right.
And, fell 2 games short. And like ever since then, it's just been not quite the same. Like something's missing. So hopefully they get it back this year.
Yeah. I think it's funny because you're the second person now that has brought up the Reese Hoskins moment or the bat slam. Mm-hmm. And I think the thing for me is that sometimes I feel like, to me, in my opinion, is that sometimes that gets a little overlooked just because of Bedlam at the Bank happened in that same playoff run a little bit.
Same run, yeah.
And I think the funny part about the Hoskins slam is just like you said, it was the first time in a while that playoff baseball has been there, and I think like it was almost like a turning point for just of like that era that we went through, those dark times where it was like. It ended in in 2011 when it ended in Philadelphia, right? And then we didn't get back there, and then now as we're back in Philadelphia, right. And then he has the slam, and then it's just like the crowd and everything. I think that whole moment right there is just like it turned into like almost this new era. It's like where it kind of almost started. Like obviously they got into the playoffs, made that little run, but then it's just like that moment right there is really. Where it all
like we are back.
Right.
Beforehand, I just remember just being so excited. Like they hand me a rally towel, and it was like this is like surreal. Like we're actually back here, and now we take it for granted.
Now that I have adult money, I can buy my own postseason tickets. Back then, I couldn't. I was only like 12, so it's tough. But I do have a question. I usually ask the people that we have on if your favorite spot in the stadium, whether you stand somewhere, whether you sit somewhere, where's your ideal spot to watch the game?
So me, given my complexion and pigmentation, I'm looking for the shade. So we're talking about the partial season ticket package. I'm along the third base line, but did a lot of research and figured out for those Sunday 1:00 games, there's a couple rows in the back of the third base side where you can get some shade. Yeah. You can sort of slip out into the concourse easier. That's one of the spots for me. The only downside to that is you can't really see the fan vision.
Yeah.
So you gotta. There's pluses and minuses everywhere you go. I think a good bargain spot is definitely like section 420, 421.
Mm-hmm.
You get like you're right behind home plate. You've got like the view of the whole ballpark.
That's where my ticket is. I think I'm 421.
Okay. Yeah. That's a great spot. Hall of Fame Club now and then.
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet. I mean, it's if you spend a lot of time at Veteran Stadium like I did back in the day, you could take any seat in
Yeah.
Citizens Bank Park, and it's like at least you can see what's happening, right?
Right, exactly. I don't feel like there's a bad spot in CBP in my opinion, but
Yeah.
I mean, it could be different for everybody else. But
Yeah.
we're
Do you have
excited for
anything
this
you want to
season.
plug?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, I'll plug my new store. How about that?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm excited about that. I can't wait.
Opening this May, come on down to 22nd and South Street. We're going to have a lot of artwork, t-shirts designed, all local designers, local artists, no fanatic stuff. And there's also going to be, so it's apparel, but it's also a lot of memorabilia, Phillies focused memorabilia, Eagles, Sixers, Flyers too.
Sweet.
But obviously a heavy focus on the Phils, autographed merchandise, all sorts of unique things. I just wanted to be one of those stores where you go in and it's just fun to go in, even if you're not buying anything. You just want, let me check this out, let me check that out. A lot of handcrafted items, and just I think it'll be a lot of fun. So yeah, during the season, we're opening in May. We'll have a big grand opening. And then the rest of the season, if you're down near the stadium, it's pretty easy to get to. You can get right off the expressway at the South Street exit, and you're pretty much right there. So yeah, definitely come check it out, guys.
I never have enough sports merch, so I'll have to.
Nah, there's never enough. So.
Well, there it is. John Foley, thank you very much. Again, follow him on Twitter, X, however you want to call it, 2008 Phils page. Best thing out there. Awesome to follow throughout the season. Once again, John, thank you very much.
Hey, thank you guys. It's been a lot of fun. Take care.
All right. Well, again, shout out to our buddy John there. Great guy. Gave us a lot of good insight and what his thoughts going into the season. And again, like he said, the shop that he's opening up, the memorabilia shop, make sure you guys go out there, visit it. Make sure, when it opens up and, support him and stuff. He's a great guy, and everything he does on X is pretty cool. So
one of the best X accounts there is. I'll tell
you. For sure. All right. So real quick. So while we were on our small little break, there was a big announcement that was made by the Phillies, and on, I think it is August 7th, if I'm correct.
Yeah. Yep.
Friday
of Alumni Weekend.
Alumni Weekend. They will be announcing Chase Utley on the Phillies Wall of Fame. Definitely some exciting news. Even just for us, obviously we're young, growing up watching him on the Phillies and whatnot. But definitely exciting to see, and you can kind of see where this trend is going with Rollins going in and now Utley. And how do you feel about
only one more big piece that goes on that. See, you like the wordplay there?
There you go. Good job. Good job.
Come on, man. I'm a pro.
I know.
Just kidding, of course. No, I'm excited, dude.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I did you hear what I was cracking up? He's a funny dude, man. Utley.
Oh yeah, I know. Very dry humor. Dry humor.
Did you see what he said on the broadcast when they talked about the handshake with Jimmy Rollins?
I don't think I did. I missed that.
Dude, so they asked him,
they said, Tom McCarthy does a great job at interviewing people in the booth while the game's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Does a fantastic job. There's nobody better. But he asked Utley, he said, that handshake with Jimmy, they called him by his first name. That handshake with Jimmy, was that just kind of like an organic thing? Because it looks a little rehearsed. You squat all the way down and shake hands. And he said, the funny thing is, it started from when I would make fun of him because he was so much shorter than me. I would squat all the way down, acting like I had to shake his hand. I had to squat to shake his hand. And he said it just caught on from there. Like, making fun of how short Jimmy Rollins is, and that's why one of the most iconic things in the Phillies in the last 25 to 30 years happens behind the, you know what I mean? Like, it's like,
just jokes
aside. I love Utley. Did you know he got voted like meanest player in baseball like 3 years running?
I heard something about that.
And then he broke Ruben Tejada's leg, which
dude, that's the thing that's like annoying is that like as a Phillies fan, like obviously you don't look at that stuff. You only look at what he's done for the organization, and like outside of that, he's like hated by like I don't know 70% of the like baseball fans out there. Right. I guess I don't know, but it's just like, dude, whatever, bro. Like I don't care. Okay.
And then
he's the man,
Mets,
bro.
That's all I know. Right. Yeah. In the words of Harry Callis, Chase Utley, you are the man.
You are the man.
But
So
like,
I was like,
every time somebody like even, I mean, if John says something, or if Tailgate posts something, or the Phillies post something about Chase Utley, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, wonder what Ruben Tejada would think of this.
right.
Like,
It's like,
I don't care. I frankly,
Right.
I don't care. Maybe he should have gotten away. I don't know what you want me to tell you. Maybe he should have gotten out of the way.
we're not
here
getting
to
into
talk
that.
about that.
No, we're not. They're not. Chill.
I'm not saying.
No.
I'm not.
Yeah,
Whatever.
I know.
Before I get too crazy, let's.
No, but it's definitely exciting. I can't wait, and hopefully we'll be able to make that game. We'll see. I don't know. I'm gonna try.
I will
Tickets-
not be able to make that game. There's no way.
All right.
I don't get out of work on time on Fridays. I wish I did.
Nah, I get it. But all right. So last thing before we get out of here, like I said, we've been talking about opening day this whole pod or whatever. Now it's officially time for us to bring back us putting out our predictions for the lineups, bullpen, all that other stuff. We're also going to do leaders in certain categories, home runs, RBIs, like we did last year. So I'll let you start and take the floor. If you want to give out your prediction for the opening day lineup, go ahead.
Okay, so as John alluded to, it's going to be that combination: Turner, Schwarber, Harper, Turner, Schwarber, whatever.
Right.
I think it's going to be Turner, Harper, Schwarber, obviously at DH.
Mm-hmm.
I have Bohm at 4.
Okay.
Now, I don't know how long that lasts.
Yeah.
But then I have Garcia at 5. And then I have Stott at 6, JT at 7, Marsh at 8, and Crawford at 9. Because I think that JT's bat has lost its luster a little bit.
Mm-hmm. You said JT at 7?
Yes.
Okay. So you went Garcia, Stott, Real Muto, and then Marsh and Crawford.
Yes, correct.
I love when we're on the same page, by the way. So go ahead.
The one thing that people will push back on, and I'm sure it'll be in our TikTok comments somewhere, about righty lefty. Now,
Yeah, we get
to
it.
quote Billy Bean in Moneyball, I don't care about righty lefty.
Right.
But I think that this is the best way to balance the lineup, and I know it's a little lefty heavy. It always will be. That's just what it is.
Right.
But I think with having Crawford at 9 and even Stott that low in the lineup, it helps. Excuse me, sorry. It helps turn the lineup over. Like pretty quick.
Right.
Pretty quick. So that's also with Crawford on the roster. I assume he's going to make the roster. I assume he's going to be playing on opening day. So that's what I think.
Word. And who do you? Because I'm gonna be honest, I had the same lineup. Not gonna lie. So I'm feel that's like I said. I'm glad we're on the same page. When it comes to like bench options, who do you think is gonna be on the bench? Like, and like obviously there's that one spot again this year is gonna be up for grabs because Dylan Moore got an injury. So who knows if he's even gonna be able to make the roster. So it's gonna be interesting to see who gets that last spot.
I think it's going to be Stubbs until it's not.
Okay.
I mean, you have Kemp, which Kemp's going to be a shoe-in
Right.
for a bench spot. No Weston Wilson.
Right.
What a shame.
I was gonna say De La Cruz possibly gets that.
That's
spot.
true.
Yeah, but he hasn't showed me what I thought he was going to show me.
Yeah, I
Either.
know.
Like, I think they thought I think they expected more out of him in spring.
right.
I think it's going to be Stubbs, and I think that what symbolizes that is we make jokes about it, but them trying him out at third, maybe trying him out in the outfield, maybe trying him out here, trying him out there. So
I'm gonna puke.
I know, dude, it's bad, but nonetheless,
Here we are.
if he can play it, he can play it. So
Right. And then for
That's what
I'm gonna go into the bullpen now because I'm very interested in this because I think this will be probably one of the strongest parts of our team this year outside of the starting pitching. I'd say starting pitching bullpen, but for what I had listed, I obviously have Alvarado, Duran, Kirk Ring, Tanner Banks, Bolin. I feel like is going to make it for the bullpen. Brad Keller, obviously, everybody's excited for him. We saw a little bit of him in the World Baseball Classic. Had a good game, struggled in the other, but I wasn't stressing about it like other Phillies fans were. But regardless, and then I think it was Zach Pop, I think, and then is it Kyle Backus? Is his first name Kyle?
Yep.
Yeah, I
Kyle
think I think those would be the last two guys to make the bullpen. So
Agreed.
I definitely, again, I'm excited for starting. I know what I'm going to get from starting pitching. I do. And though I hope that Luzardo has a bounce back here. Yes. Now that remains to be seen. I know he got the new
Luzardo?
deal. And yeah. Again, like,
That's not a bounce back year. He was awesome last year.
Excuse me. I meant to say repeat of last year, I guess.
Okay.
Not bounce back. Sorry. Good catch. I know. No, I do expect them to have another good year.
I thought you were trying to talk about Nola. That was more so.
Well, sure. If you want to put it that label at that, sure. Yeah, we need a bounce back year from Nola. Anyway,
known Italian Aaron Nola.
Yeah, whatever. But yeah, no. Luzardo, I think, has another good year. But at the same time, we also got to see, with all the innings that he pitched and stuff like that, if it does catch up to him, who knows? I don't think it will. So, but yeah, I think that's how the bullpen lays out, and then the lineup and stuff like that. So, well, listen, it's gonna be very interesting to see what Topper does with Bowman, Garcia, in that spot of the lineup, and if he switches it around, and obviously with Stott, who's been having a terrific spring training, like people were saying, if he continues to play that way, who knows? It could help out Topper where he puts him at the top of the lineup and then it shifts everything down. So who knows?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the type of thing. Right. We were talking about it last year with Stott. Is like, if he can stay consistent, if he breaks out the way we think he's going to be, then I mean, it gives you so many more options on when it comes to the lineup. So
Texas just beat BYU.
Okay, cool. I took BYU, so whatever.
Are you?
So.
Yeah. So did I.
All right, whatever. But yeah, so that's how we kind of see the things laying out when it comes to lineup, bullpen, all that type of stuff. So let's get to our leaders in each category. So we got most home runs, most RBIs, most hits, most stolen bases, pitcher with the most strikeouts, and then pitcher with the lowest ERA. So I'll let you go through your list first before I get to mine. Go ahead.
So my most home runs is Schwarber.
Okay.
He's hit, what is it, like 108 over the last 2 years?
Right.
Almost 150 in the last 3.
Okay.
And then most RBIs, I have. Did I update this?
I hope you did.
I think I did. Boom, because I had him last year too.
Okay.
Boom. I think that he'll hit low enough for those guys to be on base. He was a doubles machine last year.
Right.
I think there will be a little bit more of a gap between him and, like, there will be a safety blanket between him and the top guys, to where the top guys will actually get pitched to and end up on base, scoring, whatever. And then my most hits and stolen bases stayed the same as last year. I think they're both going to be Trey Turner.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's due for another 300 season. Won a batting title last year. Quick as a hiccup. I mean, he is unbelievable, and he's getting faster. I don't know if you heard on any of the spring training broadcast, but I was watching the one game, and they said he runs faster now than he did when he got drafted.
Really?
Yes. Now there's like a science to how he works out, like all this stuff,
right?
And because he had gotten on first and he was like going to second, and they started talking about it. He has a science to how he runs and all that stuff. So he has the same trainer that he's had for years. My player with the most strikeouts is Sanchez.
Okay.
I think that it's not so much. I think less of the other pitchers. They're more so just ground ball. Other than Wheeler, but Wheeler's not going to get a full season. Right. He may come in 2 weeks in, but Sanchez already has 2 starts. Like, you know what I'm saying? That sort of thing. And I also think Sanchez has the lowest ERA when it's all said and done.
Okay. Not gonna lie, I've on the fly here. I've changed 2. Not gonna lie, just because I've been thinking of my whole. Not based off yours, just because I've been thinking.
Yeah.
All right, so for me, players with most home runs, I went with Bryce Harper. Come on now, who else, right? Bounce that
Kyle
season.
Schwarber, that's who else.
Prove all you wrong. So, just saying. So that's who I'm going with for that. Player with the most RBIs, I'm going with Schwarber. I think, obviously, he could hit the home runs. Who knows? Whether that drives in RBIs or he's driving in RBIs other ways, that's fine too. It doesn't matter to me as long as he's doing it.
My thing was where he was going to be placed in the lineup. That's the only
True.
reason I didn't go with him.
I get it. It makes sense. Player with the most hits. I'm gonna go with Bryson Stott.
Okay.
Because I think that if
that would have been my second pick.
If he can stay consistent with what he's doing, right, and it doesn't make it look like he's swinging a pool noodle half the season, then I think, he can get enough hits, get on base, and do what he's got to do. You know what I'm saying? That's what we need from him. Being patient at the plate and then getting on base. So if he hits home runs, cool. We don't need a freaking 20+ home run season from Bryson Stott. So, player with the most stolen bases, I also went with Trey Turner. Obviously, it's listen, I just want to see more of him using his legs this year. I've been saying that since the day he's gotten here, unfortunately. So I know we've seen it spark up a little bit last season or whatever. So, and then player with the most strikeouts, I'm going to go with Aaron Nola.
That would have been my second pick.
Just because he usually does get a high amount of strikeouts for the most part, when he's not playing like crap. So even when he's struggling in those starts, sometimes he's getting a lot of strikeouts. But again, it was very encouraging to see what he was doing with Team Italy. I mean, you just can't not, see that and be like, oh my, like it's encouraging. You know what I'm saying? Like that's when we see vintage Nola.
It's not nothing,
doing.
That's for sure.
Right. Exactly. So, and then player with the lowest ERA, I'm going to go Luzardo. Only because I just think, like I said before, if he has another good year, I just think that he's developing into a much better pitcher than he was before he got here. So, and, he's got the confidence now. He's got the contract. He's here, for the next couple of years now. So it's maybe a little bit, more stress taken off his shoulders and stuff going into the season. So I think he's definitely going to be another one of those, underrated pieces for us in that rotation, considering, if Painter does make the roster and he's the fifth starter or whatever, you're, dealing with that whole thing, expecting you don't know what you're going to get from him yet. So it's just, you have Luzardo there to kind of calm things down at times too. So especially when Wheeler comes back and then you figure out that whole thing. So, so yeah, those are my leaders for those categories. And then what would be your prediction for their record this year?
So I think they're going to get a couple less wins than they did last year. I think they're going to go 93 and 69.
Mm-hmm.
That's I had 92 and 70, but I changed it.
Okay.
I don't see them getting over 96. That's kind of how
It'll be tough. It would be
yeah.
tough. It would be really tough, unfortunately, but we'll see.
With Wheeler not getting back, maybe you never know what, because they haven't given an update on his condition. He's going to the minor league game on Monday. I don't know if you saw that.
Okay, yeah, I did see that. Yep.
But you just never know.
Right.
You never know certain things players are dealing with that you don't know until the season starts. Things can arise all the time.
I'm kind of holding my breath right now with Wheeler, just because I'm trying to stay even keel with him. I don't want to get too high, and then it's like
that's my exact point. Like I don't want to be like, well, he said he wants to pitch opening day. They should just let him do what he wants to do. No, it's not smart.
Nope.
By the way, they missed an opportunity because I saw a lot of people on Twitter today with all the changes to the ballpark and all the new foods. They should have put Wheeler's ribs.
All right, that's crazy.
I saw a lot of people say that.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Well, and also, by the way, speaking of just opening day in general, I'm gonna assume Sanchez is gonna be the starter, right?
Yeah, I don't think they've announced that yet, but I think they should soon.
Or did they go back to Nola?
Yeah, funny.
Remember that?
I think, yes,
he was the starter every opening day.
Yeah, for like 8 opening days in a row, he tied Robin Roberts or whatever. Yeah, ridiculous. Yeah. Anyway,
not Sanchez.
Yeah. But I know the Pirates, they announced schemes today, which
shocker.
No, right. But I think starting within today and tomorrow and the next day, I think that teams are going to start saying who they. I mean, we're going against Nathan Uvalde. They already said that. So
right, yeah. So it should be fun. So whatever. But yeah. So I also had the same record. I say 93-69.
Wow. Okay.
Like I said, I had it the same as last year was like 92 or whatever. So I think
I had 94 wins last year.
Oh, did you? Okay, so you had a little bit more. Yeah, it's gonna be tough, man. I don't want to be saying like negative Nancy or anything like that. But again, obviously the Braves might be a little better. Mets are gonna be a little better, I guess, in some aspects. We're gonna be playing some other teams that have gotten better. So, and like you said, with Wheeler being out for little bit of the season, we're gonna miss out on some of those dominant starts. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, who knows? But yeah. So those are the predictions before the season starts. And as we go along here, leading up to opening day, we're gonna be preparing to shoot in the lot again. So for any reason, who listens to the pod, if you're gonna be there, if you want to come see us, we're gonna be in the K lot.
We'll be there.
Lincoln
for
Financial Field one or whatever. So
I can't wait.
probably not the same exact spot. It'll be somewhere in the lot. I don't know.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
We'll post on the story where we're at when we get there. How about
Yeah,
that? And then
right,
you
right,
see
right,
it. You see it. If you're there, not there, whatever. Regardless,
You'll hear
we
us.
won't. Yeah, we'll be shooting, but we won't be live. So that episode will be out the day after. But other than that, continue to react and engage on the Instagram and stuff like that. Or post a little more on the Twitter account. And then, like I said before, now that it's kind of getting closer to season, once we're in season, try to go live a little bit more on TikTok. So if you guys ever want to join on there and stuff like that. Again, shout out to John. Appreciate him for joining us tonight.
Yeah.
And let's just get the opening day. Let's get the Thursday, man. I'm ready. I'm ready. It's a different animal, man. I'm ready to flip the switch, man. Yeah. I've warned everybody around me, so especially work too. I told work, so but
yeah, whatever. I can't wait, man.
I know. You got anything else though?
Go Phils.
Go Phils. We're out of here.
See you in the lot.
See you in the lot. Peace.